Hi everyone, I'm Bethany Sefcik. I am a romance author. I write several different romance series, including Tales from Selden Park, Cutlass and Lace, the Ghost Inc. series, and Modern Magic. And my brand new series is called Billion Dollar Hearts. And I sort of span all romance genres from Regency with Selden Park all the way up to contemporary with My Billionaires. So I actually finished my first book around the year 2000, and it was called Hog Heaven, and it was this sort of precursor to my magical romance books. It was a different take on Punxsutawney Phil and the idea that he actually is a magical groundhog, and he plays poker and drinks martinis and does in fact live in the library, but he also is an eBay addict and drives a retrofitted Chevy Vega. And it was a lot of fun to write, but that book will never, ever, for a lot of reasons, see the light of day in publication. So the first thing I ever really finished for publication was a novella called Nobody's Cinderella, and it became the first part of my Aphrodite's Closet anthology. And it was under 50,000 words, like most novellas are. It had some issues, but I got it out there and I got it published and I got some pretty good feedback from it. At the same time, I was also working on a paranormal romance novel called Ghosts of Lovers Past. And once I was able to finish Nobody's Cinderella and got pretty good feedback, I went ahead and I finished Ghosts of Lovers Past and got it out there for publication. And I was actually really surprised at the positive feedback that I got with it. And not only that, but I had actually finished a book that I could actually publish. And that for me was absolutely huge at the time. So I actually get asked that question a lot. Why romance instead of another genre? And the simple answer is that I love hearts and flowers and fairy tales, and I believe in true love. The longer answer is that when I was a kid, my mom had this stack of books in her closet that, looking back, I now realize were the monthly Harlequin silhouette books. And I would occasionally read those, a couple paragraphs here and there. And I don't think it really got it. And then I was in about the fourth or fifth grade, and my elementary school classroom had this bookshelf in the back. And I found this book called The Curse of the Kings by Victoria Holt. And I really, really back then wanted to be an archaeologist. And so I picked up this book thinking it was about archaeology. And oh, was I ever wrong. But I absolutely loved the book. And that's when it finally clicked that, hey, this is romance and this is romance writing. And all of a sudden, I just envisioned this career that, this is what I absolutely wanted for myself. So I actually moved from paranormal romance to Regency romance on a dare. That wasn't my initial intention. I always thought I was going to be this paranormal fantasy type author. And then somebody dared me to sort of step out of my comfort zone and try something different, which for me was at the time Regency. I had read some Regency, I didn't know a whole lot about it. So I dove into research and, after about a week and a half, came up with this novella called On a Cold Christmas Eve. And that was the first Regency title that I published. And I really had no idea at the time that I wrote it that it was going to become sort of the precursor to Selden Park. So by far, my most popular character has to be Lord Nicholas Rosemont, the Bloody Duke from my Tales from Selden Park series. And he actually owns the aforementioned Selden Park. And he really started out as a plot device in the first Regency full-length novel that I completed, To Catch a Duke. He wasn't even the Duke in the title. He was the heroine's brother, and I needed somebody to take part in a duel. And he just happened to be a character that I had introduced earlier in the book. And so I thought, rather than create somebody new, He worked in that situation. And then typically when I finish a book, most of the characters sort of fade away a little bit, and I kind of expected him to do the same, except that he never did. He hung around, he stuck in my head, and even though I wrote his story in The Secret Seduction of Lady Eliza, he's still there. So that tells me he's got a lot more to say and he's got more story to tell. It can be hard to keep multiple series going at the same time. Regency is my primary genre, so that's always sort of my main focus. But sometimes I need a break from that. My brain needs a break from that style of writing, that cadence of writing, because it's very different writing um, the way an 1820s person would speak the way versus the way we speak today. And so that's where things like modern magic and billion dollar hearts really, really help to sort of refresh my brain, give me a break. And so, in that respect, it's not really as hard to keep multiple series going as I think a lot of people assume it would be. So, I want to thank everybody for watching today, and I hope to see you out there in the real world at a book signing or on the street someday. Thanks. Bye.